Hi, I am Ramiljo, a third year student of Pagadian Capital College. So today I'm going to discuss or share my learnings or insights about the topic, specifically about the glass, fragments, and fractures. So glass is essential as physical evidence. So as what we've noticed, as what we've watched commonly in the movie, or as what we've noticed in the news, or what we see in the news, that pieces of glass is scattered along the crime scene. So this is a common thing to be carried away, such as evidence like burglary, robbery, hit and run, or vehicular accidents, such as gunshot wounds. So, it is used as a means of evidence, like for example, minute fragment or fragment of a headlight that is signifies a vehicular or hit and run accident, a broken window. So, commonly, crime of robbery or burglary, and a bullet hole of the window. So therefore, examination of glass can lead or can aid in solving a particular case or crime. So what is a glass? A glass is a super cool liquid which possesses high viscosity and rigidity. So viscosity refers to the consistency or the thickness of material. Rigidity means the hardness of the specific material. So therefore, a glass possesses this kind of two. So it is non-crystalline and organic substance. So composition of glass. A glass is usually composed of oxides like silica, boric oxide, phosphorus pentoxide. For commercial use, silica is the most important oxide. So it is the base of commercial glasses, as what we've seen, as what we've used to our house, buildings, or anything that is composed of glass. Silica is the most important oxide that is being used in creation of that kind of glass. So it's made of silica, sun, and metallic oxide. So in creation of glass, I've watched from the movie or discovery that it is made from the sun, that is put in a high temperature. By means of blowing, you can manipulate the shape of a glass. So, analysis of glass, the most important problem commonly referred to forensic chemists is the comparison of two or more sample of glass. So, tests or the analysis for glass: number one, the spectrographic test, the X-ray diffraction test, physical properties examination, the ultraviolet properties examination, and lastly, the polish mark test. Number one, the spectrographic test is an instrumental method of analysis which determines the presence of trace elements. Shows the elements of glass, it will not give sufficient information to establish the origin of the sample examined. So this type of test is used to trace the elements of the specific elements that is being used to a specific type of glass. So number two is X-ray diffraction test. Not as effective as the spectrographic analysis. So it determines the type of pattern of glass. The type of pattern depends upon the composition of glass. So, X-ray is not as effective as spectrographic analysis since it deals more about the pattern or the composition of a glass. So, number three is the physical properties examination. The most sensitive method of determining the difference of the composition of glass samples. So, it depends upon the study of the physical properties of glass. So, this deals with the physical properties of glass, like as what we've seen or what we've noticed on a specific type of glass, like how hard it is, how glossy it is, or the texture of it, what color it is. So, method of measuring the density of glass. So, flotation method. So, flotation method, the rapid and convenient method of determining the density of small glass fragments. So, method of measuring refractive index of glass. So, immersion method. Method used to measure the refractive index of glass. It is difficult to distinguish between two samples of glasses by density and refractive index. Refractive, same as refractions of how light emits or refract the given type of glass. So, immersion method is being used with that. So, the method of measuring density of glass, we use the flotation method. Flotation method is the method of determining the density of the small glass fragments, wherein you're going to identify the density of a small minute fragment of a glass scattered along the crime scene. So, number four, the ultraviolet light examination or the UV light. Determines the differences in the appearance of fluorescent, thus indication physical and chemical appearance. So, with the use of UV lights that is direct in contact with the sample glass, you're able to notice of how does the glass reacts with the UV light. Like for example, you can notice a sudden discoloration, such as chemical differences, decomposition of a given glass. So that's why you're going to compare the retrieved gas to the known glass that you have. So number 5 is the polish marks. Optical glass and other fine glasswares are usually polished, like our eyeglass, such as a cup or anything glasswares are usually being polished for commercial use or purposes. So as a means of aesthetic also. So in the polishing of glass, fine marks are often left on the surface, which can sometimes serve as a basis of comparison. So you can able to compare two glasses of how shiny it is. Like for example, if it's a glassware or eyeglass, so as we can clearly say that it is polished more refined compared to other that is for commercial purposes only. So you're going to conduct a test to determine the how shiny it is by polish marks test. So procedures of determination of fine marks. So the surface is clean with alcohol with each with spraying by 20 to 25% hydrofluoric acid. The acid is permitted to remain on the surface for several minutes. So the glass is again washed with alcohol and dried. If the surface is illuminated by oblique light, so a photograph can be made to show the polish marks. Like for example, you're going to picture of it, then how does it reacts or what is the result of it through the use of camera. You will be able to notice how polished it is as evidence of crime. So in the field of forensic chemistry, emphasis is based on number 1, automobile glass in the case of hit and run. So as we all know, hit and run is caused by vehicular accident. So number 2, broken windows caused by pressure, blow, or bullet in the case of robbery. So in conduct, there is clearly noticed that if there is a piece of broken window inside the house, there's a possibility of it that is a crime of robbery. So number 3, broken bottles, drinking glasses, spectacles for another scene of assault or crimes of violence. So like for example, nag-inuman kayo. So there's a sudden misunderstanding. So one of the weapon that you've noticed is a piece of bottle. So bottle is made of glass. So therefore is used as is commonly used by crime of assault. So which would suggest examination of the soles and heels of the suspect for embedded glass fragments. So if a crime of violence or assault, there is a minor fragment that is stay on the wound. So due to the impact, sudden force that is being upon to you, being impact to you. So how glass breaks. So glass breaks forms cracks when a blow of pressure is applied of one of its surface. Like for example, a stone hit on the glass. So if you can notice that there is a hole in it, then the cracks scattered from it that's caused the glass to break. So analysis of glass from vehicles. Hit and run accident represents a good percentage of crime. So analysis of broken windows. These are commonly crime of robbery. Broken window caused by bullet holes, such as direct threat or great threat. So it's easy to determine the direction from the shot was fired. Number 1, on one side of the hole, numerous small flakes of glass will be found to have been blown away by giving the whole appearance of volcano crater. So like for example, as we notice, a volcano crater is circular, such as a bullet hole, circular, but it's scattered due to the impact or sudden pressure that is impacted on the glass that causes it to scatter or break. So number 2, if the shot was fired perpendicular to the window pane, the flake marks are evenly distributed around the hole. So number 3, if the shot was fired at an angle from the right, the left side will suffer more flaking than more the right. So in this, if the shot is made from the right, therefore the left side will suffer more. And also, if the shot was made on the left side, therefore the right side will suffer more or has more damage compared to the left side. So broken window caused by fish or kumo or stone. Direction of the blow in case of fish or stone smash the window is quite difficult, but the principle of radial crack and concentric crack fracture will apply. So glass fractures produced by low speed impact such as rock, high speed projectile, or such, for example, a bullet. So fractures caused by bullets and stone create a sudden pressure or impact that how the glass breaks. So the principles of 3R's rules for radial crack states straight lines or radial crack will be right at an angle to the rear side of the glass. The principle of RFC rules for concentric crack states the straight lines or a concentric line will be right angle to the front side. This is the side which the blow came rather than the outside. So the bullet holes in a window. So where there are 2 bullet holes in a window, one come from each side and one from the other side. So which one was first becomes important to determine who is the aggressor. So the first one from the each side, or the first bullet that is impacted on the glass, is used to determine the suspect or the aggressor. So fractures on safety glass. So laminated glass that is now being used in automobiles does not shatter when struck sharply. To explain this, most of our cars right now has a laminated type of screen or protection that is being pinadikit sa glass that emits the sudden break of the glass, like for example like a tinted or sudden protector. So when a strong force is impacted on the glass, so it will not scatter easily or break easily due to the help of the sudden protection of the laminated glass. So my insights about this topic is that it is very important to conduct a glass examination, specifically on hit and run accidents. So commonly I've heard news such as hit and run accident. So in order to identify it easily, with the use of glass examination, you will be able to identify that it is a vehicular accident. Just as in the crime of robbery, so you notice there is commonly done by a perpetrator to break the glass of a house, of a given house, to go immediately or to go easily to the house. So, and also bullet wounds. So my point is that it is important to conduct more examination about the glass, specifically on this type of incidents. So I'm amazed that even a small minute fragment can determine the perpetrator or can determine what crime it is. So my learnings, I learned so much, specifically on the different examination that is conducted on the glass examination, how the composition of the glass, how glass will aid in solving a particular crime, such as vehicular accident, burglary, robbery, bullet holes. So that is commonly what we've heard, what we've seen in the news, that there is common type of crime that is rampant nowadays.